doing, I'm gonna do something with my hands because um, mental health is a really big part of something that I want to like advocate for and talk about more openly on this channel. So like whatever I'm comfortable with sharing, I'm going to share. So I'm gonna share a thing. And if like wounds or scarring is a trigger for you, I recommend not watching for a moment or like leaving. It's okay, it will hurt my feelings. But like something I really struggle with, and you can see a few little spots here. So something I struggle with a lot is I have really bad depression. I know everyone gets depressed, but like diagnosed medically treated depression and extreme anxiety disorder. I also have stress induced like memory issues, which is because of stress induced disassociation, which is like everything I have going on from like mental health from my whole life and my breakup and my mom going through cancer. Originally, they told us she only had 12 months to live, and now they've given us 3 to 4, which is, you know, not 3 to 4 months, 3 to 4 years, excuse me. So it's 1 year to now 3 to 4, and they think it's just going to keep going up because she's responding so well. So I just have a lot going on, and I had blocked everything off in my mind for so long. That some things changed in my life before these changes, and I just really started to like let myself experience emotions and feeling and whatnot. And like really dig into the parts of my brain that I like compartmentalize without knowing I was doing it. Um, and once I opened it, and this like the transition of everything, and just having a couple mental breaks and stuff, and not just having a bad day, like medically defined mental breakdowns. Um, it's been a while, and I'm getting through them a lot better. I have a lot more support. I don't have to like sit through them alone. So, but the thing that I was going to do, the physical thing, I'm going to redo that warning if that like physical stuff bothers you. And I'm going to share something. So, I always try to wear a jacket for the most part. My nose is so red because I'm nervous. But I've been wanting to talk about this so that I'm more comfortable not wearing jackets because it is so fucking hot down here lately. But I have a lot of scarring, so I'll just like do one arm. I have a lot of scarring because this is like something that I feel like people should know, like that people struggle with. So you can do this for like multiple reasons. The like the base thing can be different medical conditions, but basically like when people have like mental health, especially anxiety or like stress induced diagnosed things, um or OCD. There are a lot of different reasons why, and a lot of different skin conditions. So like I think it's called like keratosis pilaris or something. And it just has to do with like your hair follicles on your body, and then they just are slightly bumped. And then like like I don't know, I'm not diagnosed with OCD. I don't think that's the thing, but for me, but basically like you like will rub your arms for like people do that like it's a security thing. And then when you don't have anything on your arms, like you feel these bumps. And it's kind of like, I feel like everyone's had this, like it feels like something's on you. So even though you know it's your skin, like you like scratch at it or like will pick at it or whatever. And then they become like these wounds, and like I will disassociate and just like mess with them. And it causes, like scarring and bruising, and like and like as somebody who just struggles with a lot of things in my mental health, like dysphoria and um like just self-image issues in general, like it's very hard. But one of the reasons I really love streaming is that I will not do it if I can see myself, one, and then two, if I know other people can see me, except for my mom. I don't know why my brain is like, oh, mom can see me do this, and then my mom like smacks my hand very gently, or like puts her hand on my hand and just says, hey, like quit. Um, so it's something that I wanted to share, because if anyone would like to very gently, if they ever see me doing that when I'm not wearing a jacket, is be like, hey, leave your arms alone. Something very, very, very kind. I appreciate that. Like it's something I'm really struggling with, and I'm using this space to kind of help me heal. This is much better. Donna can attest to that. Like, and Donna, not to put you on the spot, like, it's not like a trap. Like, you can admit that it was worse. It's okay. But I've made a lot of progress, and they like, I've done a lot of like slap. Honestly, I need to just make like a slap command, and the slap is just like, hey Rosie, like I need to make it so that it prompts like a bunch of different responses, and it's just like a bunch of very overly nice things to tell me to quit doing that. Um, but yeah, so that's something that you might see people with these like scars and stuff, and and the thing that's so interesting, and this is like the more like content warning trigger side of stuff. It's it's so hard to talk smack. It's like hard to talk about because I only realized this in the last couple of weeks. But because I'm not doing it consciously, right? Like I'm not, it's not a choice. Like I'll be doing it and then someone will be like, "Hey, stop." And I'll be like, "Wait." Or they'll be like, "Rosie." And I'll be like, "Wait, what did I do?" And they're like, "You're messing." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And they're like, "You don't have to apologize." Like, well, I am sorry. I don't want to be anyway. So it's subconscious. But it's like really bad when I dissociate, and I don't know how to explain what that is like to a person that it hasn't happened to. But it's a really scary thing, honestly. Like you're in your brain and you're telling you know that you're doing the thing. Like I know that I'm sitting there messing with stuff, and I like, it's like compulsion. It's not even impulse. It's like compulsion. You can't stop yourself sometimes. And it's very scary. Because you're sitting there and you're like, you know that you have to quit doing whatever you're doing, and um, it's scary. So anyway, the point is, no, I'm in my brain, and I just like will keep doing it. Um, to answer your question, Brodo, yeah, I literally can't help it. Um, so it's something that I'm working with a doctor. I have different stuff. I'm doing different things. So something that they've recommended is like some type of healing lotion or cream. So instead of picking, you just do more lotion so that you get the stimulation of like them being touched and altered because the moisture in them is changing. Um, so that's something that they've recommended. I have like medicated cream as well that I use once a day. Um, but yeah, so it's something that I've met some other people that so what I was starting to say, I only realized this the other day, but it's with the way my mental health is. When people think about people who are depressed, something that they think about is like self-harm. So this is like a trigger warning if you need to mute or step away from the conversation. I'm going to be talking about that kind of stuff for a moment. Please take care of yourselves. But people who do this, I'm realizing it's technically like an alternative to cutting. Now, that's not something I've ever wanted to do or thought about doing earnestly. I've like, even when I was at my worst as a teenager, I've never thought about it, like since I was a very, very young, like hurting myself in any way. And like, so when I was like, I don't remember who I was talking to, but I just had an epiphany that like, that is, it does the same thing in your brain for someone who's like doing that, and it's less, I don't know if it's the same level of choice or anything as far as like control of your body disassociation, since it's not something I've ever done. I don't really know, but it's just very interesting. I had this moment in my brain where I'm like, that's technically self-harm. It's just like a different form. And I didn't ever really think about it because it's not in my mind. If that was ever something that like in the hypothetical universe where that's something I would do, it felt like, more of a choice. I don't know. It's so odd. It kind of makes me look at the whole thing differently, if I'm honest with you. But, yeah. What's up, Butts? What's up, Jeff? We're talking about mental health. I'm talking about very deep stuff right now, actually. We're talking about self-harm. And I kind of want to stop. Not because I'm uncomfortable, but I feel like, I don't know. I've been going on about serious stuff for a very long time. So I'm going to read Unravel's messages where he asked about therapy. And then maybe wrap up the mental health talk for right now. But yeah, I wanted to share that that's something that people deal with. And if you ever see people with scars, try to be sensitive. You don't know uh what um what they're going through, even if they're working on it, that doesn't mean that they're able to like always stop the things that they're doing right away. It's not always as easy as just telling yourself to stop or telling yourself to change how you think or anything like that, It just takes time. Um, and Rebel says, since you are opening up, are you going to therapy? Yes, I will continue to talk about that in a minute. Not asking in a judgmental way. I didn't take it away, but thank you for clarifying. I think that's so important in communication. My stepdaughter has really benefited. Stuff can be super expensive without insurance, so I wish I could go myself. Slap. Yeah, I totally understand. Thank you very much for sharing all this. It's so helpful. You're awesome. Thank you, Brodo. That's the goal. Oh, I got that. And tips. I don't know what's happening about tips, but thank you. Wow, that has a lot of things going in my head now. Never thought of it like that, but I'm so stoked that you're doing so well. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that, although I did have to mute the trigger the conversation for a bit. Yeah. And I hope that me giving you that warning, it was enough. I apologize if it wasn't. I really try to be like mindful of that because I know that sometimes hearing things like that is helpful. So I want to give that space to people who like just need that hear that conversation to be aware, because sometimes you just have to like know a person or hear it for the first time. So I hope that was enough of a warning for you, but I am done. And if anyone would like to type in chat for me, because I just really don't feel up to it right now, that we're done with that side of the talk. Self-harm talk is done. I appreciate it. Anxiety out the ass with a dash of depression here, so I'm open for talks. Yeah, no thanks, Jeff. You said zup butts and it made me laugh, so it kind of took me out of like the zone, and I was wanting to kind of get out of that anyway. I do have a hug command. I believe it's hug without the S. I do need...
Why is your bed so tall?
There you
'Cause
go.
I'm a
And then to
tall
respond,
guy.
you can do, if Jeff wants to accept your hug, because we're big on consent here, he can do exclamation point hug yes, and then at the person they're trying to hug back. That is my hug command. It is a two-way street. I can't stay, but I wanted to pop in and say hi and send love. Thank you, James. Thank you for being here. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. So I'm just kind of talking. We ended up talking about mental health for like 15, 30, way too long. Anyway, but yeah, I think it's just because I started talking about my mom, and that was a conversation her and I had today. But yeah, thank you. I hope you're having a good day at work or whatever you're up to, and I appreciate you popping by. And your walk on always cracks me up, and I love that yours is automatic.